Second.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
All right, at 7:12, 13. Reporting out from closed session, we gave direction to the principal on the reinstatement for student 2-1819. And procedural issues. The recording of this meeting is being made and shall be kept for 30 days as public record. Pledge of allegiance. Who's second leading? Who's leading?
Ready, begin.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call. I am here. Robert Bensalet is here. Mr. Bender is here. Sonny Hepburn is here. Wayne Moore is here. And
I will be filling in for Alexi.
you do not look like her. What was your first name?
Kaden.
Kaden. And our student representative is here. Okay, I need a motion to approve the agenda.
So moved.
Motion by Bensalet. Seconded by me. All in favor?
Aye.
Do you have anything from CSEA? Nope. Okay, we're gonna skip that report. RTA, you're up.
Good evening. How are you doing? Good. A little different tonight. I wanted to address mostly the teachers that might be watching tonight, rather than the board directly. I want them to know I have received all of your emails. I understand all of the challenges and frustrations you have endured. With every email you send me, I know there are 5 or more of your colleagues who feel the same way. To the board, the biggest issues is with the shortage of teachers and the lack of qualified substitutes. It's putting a tremendous strain on the system. Elementary teachers are having their classes split with 10 minutes notice sometimes, having 30 to 35 students in their classes. Secondary teachers are constantly losing their prep periods to cover classes. I know that even Mr. Meza is pulling 2 jobs right now, aren't you, Mr. Meza? Working as a special ed teacher many times and also as an administrator. So it's been a really difficult and challenging beginning of the year, but the teachers have responded, the administration has responded, and people are doing everything they can to make this go as well as possible. So, but Southern Current labels this as the year of the child, which I fully support and appreciate. I just want to make sure we remember that it is also the year of the teachers and the support staff. We cannot forget the great commitment and every effort being given every day by our teaching and support staff. I appreciate all the positive words being expressed by the board and the administration, and we need to do all we can to make sure that those messages are being heartfelt. And like I said, everybody in Southern Current is putting forth a tremendous effort to try to do all we can for our students. But it is with a tremendous amount of stress, and we need to recognize that and do all we can to support everything that everybody's doing. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Mr. Coleman. Student board member, your report.
So we are having Powder Puff in a couple of weeks. Also, we're gonna have a homecoming football game. The theme will be Alice in Wonderland. Also, freshman council are having a movie night this Friday. I can't remember the movie that they're watching. We're also having a homecoming dance on Saturday, next Saturday. That's all I have.
Thank you. Irving.
All right. It's nice to see an audience that is, more than just staff members. Construction at RES is going along well. We've had another meeting this morning. We're still on schedule for building H and building I to come in. So Saturday after next, both of those buildings should be craned in. Knocking on wood to, again, ensure that all goes well, because it'll be interesting to see how they do that with them so close together. On the food service side, coming up soonish is our RFP for the next 5 years. Every 5 years we have to do an RFP and go out to bid for contractors. So just apparently our time is up for that. So I have to put together RFP for that. We interviewed a new Sodexo consultant last week, Rosie, Superintendent Gaines, and myself, to have a replacement for the last one. We've had a temporary stopgap of a traveling employee that goes from district to district, but is more of a nomad than a regular rep. So hopefully within the next 2 weeks or so, she'll have done whatever in processing on the Sodexo side, so that she can be here before the end of the month, and just in time for the upcoming AD school boards dinner and everything else going around, right before the holidays and all that fun stuff. On the transportation front, we need bus drivers. The state of California needs bus drivers, but we fall in that same category of we have buses, but we also, if anybody happens to know anybody that wants to drive a long yellow tube that has a passenger endorsement, please see me after the meeting. I'll be giving out business cards. Anybody I've talked to, whether or not they're on the transportation side or not, vendors, whatever, I'm just throwing it out there. We have a dry climate. It gets warm, but there's no humidity. So just, please see me after the meeting. Thank you.
Good way to put a plug in there. Assistant Superintendent of Instruction and Curriculum. Lacey.
All right, I'm really excited to say that we are bringing Avid back to our elementary school sites. I've been working with the program manager here in our area. There's an agreement that you have in your agenda tonight that adds the elementary to, in addition to what we already had for our middle school and high school. So that is in your board packet. As part of that, I have sent out emails to both the elementary and the secondary teachers. There are the next 3 months, October, November, December, there are 3 different trainings that Avid is holding that we can go to, send our teachers to for free, that are amazing trainings. So each month, the teachers have 3 dates that they can choose from. The month of October, for example, the training will be on critical reading strategies. And then in November, it will be fostering social emotional learning across grade levels. And then in December, it'll be charting a course for literacy. All of these would be good for any of our teachers to attend. They are great trainings. We have, for elementary so far, signed up 26 teachers, and for secondary 11, which is really exciting that we're already getting them out there and getting that training for them with Avid strategies and things. So I'm excited about that. I've been working on changing the SSD forms and process and revamping those to meet more of our school district's needs and processes. I'm starting to do trainings. I'm going to be going out to all of the school site staff meetings to do a training on those documents and in the process. I've already gone to Rare Earth High School and Abraham Lincoln Independent Study staff meeting today, so I've already been out there starting to get that process started and getting those new forms done. I'll be also doing a more thorough training with our SST site coordinators to make sure they have a really good understanding of the new process and the new forms, so that we are meeting all of the needs of our students. TMS has finished their first pilot for science. They did a training today for their second pilot, which will be with Discovery Education. The training was really awesome today. I sat through almost all of it. And it seems like it's going to be a pretty good curriculum. So the other ones may have a little bit of a challenge. And also we're starting the pilots for social studies and science at the high school. I worked it out with TCI to start the first one with social studies. And then SAVAS, which is also known as Pearson, for science. And then our after-school academy should be getting started in the next week or so at all of our school sites. So we'll have that out and going for all of our kiddos to get that extra help and support.
Hey, can you just real quick, I don't know if it's on what, but can you explain this Success for All Foundation?
Oh, yes, Success for All is a reading, basically like an reading intervention program. It is, if you look at it, it has a lot of good, basically going down to it'll be used in, let me just start over and I'm all over the place right there. It's going to be used in our universal access time for kindergarten, first and second graders. It really focuses on phonics and early literacy skills. It's going to be used for those students that need that extra support, so that lower level UA groups that really need that extra push for those early literacy and reading skills that we know is one of your, as a school board, one of the things that you wanted the district to work on was that, especially you, Mr. Bigger, to work on. So it's very systematic. It is a great program. Both Mrs. James and I sat through a presentation and we were both very impressed with the program itself. What the contract is, they like you to use the system, the program for 3 years to see how it goes. In my opinion, it's going to be just absolutely fabulous. There's the phonics piece, and then there's also little stories and things that they read, and each lesson, the phonics piece that they're working on, they'll find those in the actual little stories that they read. So maybe everything part of it it's just really systematic. It all works together. The school districts that they have rated this program have been very high, had really good results. It's scientifically based. It's had lots of different studies. It's a very solid program.
Does it go together with our reading programs that we have now?
It will help to support our reading programs and any gaps that we have for those kiddos that are really struggling, because it is very phonics based. And
So it's back to the phonics.
yeah, it's going to help solidify those really early literacy skills.
Can you give me some? I'd like to see what they set program up. Because not all kids can learn the phonics.
That's why there's different pieces to it. There's also the literacy piece with those little stories that they read the stories. They work on other different pieces. There's different parts of this program. So there's the phonics piece, the literacy piece, and then there's also like an online program that you'll see that's listed in there that kind of puts it all together. So it has all of the different pieces. It's very systematic to put all of those different parts into the program.
Human resources. Yeah.
All right, we are very, very busy over in HR trying to find people to fill all those vacancies that we have. We've been posting several different positions, and we continue to look for subs. We continue to look for teachers. We continue to look for classified in many different areas. So yes, of course, if anybody knows anybody that's interested in positions. And sometimes when I look at EdJoin, I look at EdJoin quite often, daily, maybe a couple times a day. If I see somebody that's applied and think, oh, maybe they might fit better over here. So really working with people that are applying, I've had some people apply and, they have some qualifications that, they might make a great sub. So I've encouraged people, hey, would you like to become a substitute teacher? And just putting people, where we need them. So definitely we understand, teachers, support staff, everybody is doing 2-3 jobs. Administrators, working very hard every day. We certainly hear you. We are looking for people, and, doing our best to fill all those spots. So, that's it.
Thank you.
And I know you have a rough job nowadays trying to hire people. It's tough. But do you see anything else we can, I mean, we need bus drivers, we need everybody. I
We do.
mean, what else? I noticed we got a new company out there. Are they also gonna look for maybe bus drivers for us too? Or-
I don't know if they probably could find bus drivers, but they are very, very thorough. They did find a special ed teacher for us. That is, we have hired that person for Roseman Elementary. She's actually in New Mexico right now. She can make it out here early November. So yeah, they also are helping us look for APE teacher for adaptive PE, school psychologists. So, and again, teachers, they're also looking for teachers. Anybody that we hire through this company, they're more of a headhunter kind of company where the employees will be our employees. And we will pay them a fee based on, the people that we do hire.
So far, they're just looking for teachers then for us.
Yes, because we still have special education teacher openings.
I know there's some companies out there that hire, that have like temp agencies out there.
Well, and we kind of went that route with our contracting employees. So, we just thought we'd try something a little bit different.
We just gotta try to find some people.
Certainly, yes, every day it's,
We can't have our principals
searching
in
around.
the offices.
Absolutely. We have been doing some interviews, so we're hoping that we will be able to bring some additional folks, in the coming months. So, so yeah, we are busy.
Superintendent Gaines.
I just want to say good evening to everyone and welcome everyone who's watching us this evening and who's here in person. I want to always thank my site admin for coming out this evening. And I also just wanted to piggyback that Mrs. Acadini, I think, has been in the classroom almost every day for a few weeks herself. And along, I'm sure many of them are in and out of the classroom on a regular basis. And that's tough when you're running a school, but we do appreciate your extra hours and your time there, all of you. I want to remind all of our parents this evening that on October 21st, we will be having our parent conferences during the regular school day. These will be in person. So parents, if you're listening, please make sure that now's an opportunity for you to get out, visit the school. All that we ask is you please wear your mask and be able to get some time with your child's teacher or teachers at the secondary. And of course, on October 22nd, it is a local holiday. It's a non-student day, so we will not be having school that day. I also want to say that our football game with Boron was canceled today by Boron. We did not cancel it. Boron canceled it for this Friday night, so we will not be having a football game this evening. And also two of the positions that I'm very, very excited. I thought for sure Miss Mrs. Hargis might mention it, but she didn't. So thank you, Mrs. Hargis, for leaving me a little something to talk about this evening. We have flown the position for two library clerks, one for TMS and one for Roseman High School. And both of these libraries, if you haven't had a chance to visit them, they have been newly updated with not only books, but beautiful furniture. And so I think it's going to be great for the kids to be able to go into their school library during lunch, and for the teachers to be able to go in there and allow the kids to check out books, whether it's a hard copy of a book or whether it's a digital book. We have both in our library. So we're very excited to be able to bring back the library clerks at both TMS and Roseman High. So that's one more thing. I want to thank, I met a week or so ago with an ESSER committee comprised of parents, teachers, site administrators, district office administrators, to discuss what are the best ways and for us to spend our $8.7 million in ESSER 3 funds. And they came up with some incredible ideas that we will include as we write our plan for the next 3 years. A lot of it mitigating student loss prior to COVID, and then of course after COVID, and technology and safety concerns, and all the things that we need to do or we can do in addition to what we've already done at our site. So I just want to thank those people who just volunteered to be on that committee, and I'm hoping to be able to find one more meeting time before we have to turn in our plan to meet with them again, maybe early next week. So that's it for me this evening. Thank you.
Thank you. Board members. We'll start with Joy.
Yeah, I just want to say thank you to everybody who came out, the part staff members, which is nice to see. I don't really think I have much, honestly. Other than there is a desperate need for bus drivers everywhere. I was telling Mrs. Gaines in Mojave, I'm doing 2-3 routes sometimes at one time because there's no bus drivers, no subs. So, like Robert said, if you know anybody that wants to drive a bus, tell them. Other than that, I like to go to the schools and see the students working in their classrooms, talk to the administrators. Kind of really irritates me though when I go to talk to an administrator and they're teaching, because they got to do what they got to do. And then secondly, don't know. All right, go Sonny.
I'm up. Hello, thank you guys for being here. Thank you guys for the students, not the students, the teachers, the staff, everybody, for raising our children. It's difficult. I know this is hard, teaching these kids. It's a lot of work, and you guys are working really hard, and I do appreciate everything that you guys are doing. I'm glad that this first quarter is almost up, and you just got to keep moving forward. You guys are working hard to get these roles filled, and there's a shortage everywhere, but hopefully there's going to be light at the end of the tunnel. That's what I'm really hoping for. So you guys are doing a great job. Thank you.
I guess I could say basically similar to what they're saying. Thank you for all your help. Everything is going. Leanne, we do hear you about the subs and the pay. So I did note that, and I know we're going to be looking at that down there for you in the future. Safety survey went out, and I'm going to ask the ASB to please emphasize to your students that are with you out there to please complete it. It's going to help us to understand what's going on. It's anonymous, but it's something that we have wanted to do, I've wanted to do, to look at just to make sure that we are offering everybody a safe learning environment. So that would be also for Tropico. If you would emphasize that to the ASB as well, please. Thanks for everybody who has come in to is it YouTube and a few others, at least, you know, you get to see what's going on. And every one of you administrators, I do appreciate everything you're doing. I know you're in the classrooms. And I promise you one thing, when I find out you're in the classroom, you're not gonna hear from me until after the class, because you're too busy with what's going on. That's unfortunate you have to do that. I wish I could come in and help substitute, but fortunately, the state doesn't allow me to do that. So other than that, keep.
We don't allow you to.
What's the matter? Well, I'll get even with both of you on that one. Okay, Jim, you're up.
Basically, same thing. I know we're understaffed and we're working hard, got double jobs, triple jobs. I appreciate the hard work of our teachers that are just, it's tough now. I don't know how to put it. I mean, we're in a different time with the students and with teaching. And we gotta just figure it out though. We gotta work together and figure it out and get this bus rolling again like it's supposed to roll. And I know our governor's throwing some stuff at us that we're gonna have a challenge. We've gotta fight some stuff. I mean, gotta stand up as a unit and yes or no, one or the other. We can't compromise. So I'm looking forward to it. Again, thank you to our staff for all the hard work.
Thank you, Jim. Just want to thank everybody for coming and everybody's input. We really appreciate you guys because I know this year has been extra hard coming in off of craziness of the last year and a half. So we really appreciate everything you guys are doing with your hands tied behind your back. So with that, I will go on to the next section. Members of the public may address the board on any items within the jurisdiction of the board by submitting presentation requests to the secretary or by email. Members of the public are strongly urged not to mention personnel by name and are reminded that they are not immune from legal action if personnel are named. The board may limit each speaker to 3 minutes with a total of 20 minutes per topic. And first we have Matthew Lutz.
Right here in the middle.
Sure.
Hi, my name is Matthew Butts. I've been a resident of Rosemont for 3 years, and my son attends second grade in Rosemont Elementary. As a parent, I am extremely concerned about these vaccination mandates being thrusted upon my son and other children. I'm quite surprised that this pertinent issue isn't even on the agenda tonight, though after hearing the many struggles the public school system is going through, I understand. However, I'm sure these mandates are not going to alleviate your staffing problems. Centrally planned one-size-fits-all policies do not work. There is no consideration for nuance or individual needs and risk. Our government and their so-called experts has censored information and peddled fear and misinformation for over a year and a half. They cite studies without control groups, cherry-pick statistics, and anyone who asks reasonable, logical questions are demonized. Given all this, how can parents trust this vaccine that is so amazing that it has to be mandated and forced upon us and our children? Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Kelly?
Hey guys. Hey, can I just say, like, I'm actually, it's kind of, first I've been in a room with a lot of you guys in a lot of years. My entire life is around this room right now. I mean, the people that are in this room have been packing since I was literally 4 years old. Mario's daughter, Brianna, is a day younger than me. I held it over her head for 13 years and I was a day older than her. She always told me she was smarter than me, though. Yes, she was. So, yeah, my name is Kelly Carden. I'd like to thank the board for allowing me the opportunity to speak. I'm a lifelong third-generation Rosemont resident. All 4 of my children actually attending Rosemont Elementary School, the school that I went to starting 31 years ago. Pretty cool. I'm also running for the Kern County Board of Supervisors representing District 2. And I am incredibly concerned by the vast overreach from our state's governor and his vaccine mandate. I have been blown up with text messages, comments, phone calls, posts online from people that are telling me they're going to take their kids out of school if this goes on. This school district has been educating my family for 60 years. Please stand up and don't let them do this. Please. I find mandates to be immoral, disgusting, and quite frankly, un-American. And I can promise you that never once throughout history has the group that has forced them ever been considered the good guys. Ever. They are not the good guys that they're forcing. Good ideas do not take force. Simple as that. If the board does not stand firm in the face of the governor's office, I promise you that you will see repercussions. 3 of your seats are up for election next year. And I am sure I'll have no problem finding people to run for them. The power to choose for our kids does not belong to schools, boards, or governors. They belong to parents of the children of the Southern Kern Unified School District. And I will fight for those kids. Thank you.
I will address your question. I feel, first off, when I took the oath of office, it says that I will uphold the Constitution of the United States.
Thank you, Mario.
Thank you.
Constitution of California. And I believe that the mandates are illegal. If you wish to have the vaccine, that's great.
Yeah.
If you do not, that's fine. But it should be your choice. When you take the choice away from the people, that is illegal. It's against the Constitution 100%. So
Thank you, Mario.
I'll leave that alone.
I'd just like to say, I fought the mandates a month or so ago, and you told me we couldn't do it. I wanted the mandate on the mask and the testing on the agenda, and we were told we couldn't do it. So we can't flip-flop. We're gonna steady one way, and we go that way, we don't go that way. We can't choose what mandates we're gonna obey, and what ones we don't wanna fight. We wanna fight. To me,
I think they've gone to the point of where we have to fight.
the very first one. When they mandate you do something that's not right, and they take your rights from you, you need to fight it. The very first one.
Agreed.
Consent items, A through O. Anybody have any questions?
I had one on the mobile hotspots. On there. The mobile hotspots.
Yes,
Are we still, do we have them all like we had before? Is that what we're still paying for?
yeah, we're getting reimbursed for that.
Or being reimbursed?
I just met with T-Mobile today.
Okay, cool.
So we've received $103,000 in funding from a government program called ECF, Electronic Connectivity Fund. And so the $8,000 a month bill that we've paid for July, August, and September, we're getting reimbursed.
Awesome.
So ECF pays for 100% of the hotspots. We're going to start distributing hotspots to families next week. We sent out a survey. We have 210 students whose families indicated they did not have high-speed, reliable internet. So we'll be distributing hotspots to those students starting next week. And the ECF fund pays for 100% of the cost of the hotspots.
Thank you.
Okay, anything else?
I'll make a motion.
Okay, motion by Bender,
Second by Moore.
second by Moore. All in favor?
All right.
All right. Accept quarterly report on, for the Williams uniform complaint on education. What's that? I was gonna say, I see hard. Thank you.
There have not been any complaints filed.
So we accept the report. I'll make that motion.
Hello?
That's second by Vince Webb. All in favor? Aye. Approve Amendment 1 to contract with Llewellyn and Moody, Inc. for additions to Tropical Middle School. Mr. Irving.
Alrighty, so the district has a general contract with Falling and Moody for services, but for any specific project, they do an amendment so that, everything has its own different scope, different needs and wants. So, doing the restroom at Adult Deck, different than kindergarten buildings at RES and Tropico. So that's why it's its own separate amendment. The overall cost will be $688,579, presuming that the, Tropico project, at the end of the day. The only part that Flowing and Moody is going to invoice until funding is approved by OPSC is $200,000 that would go towards paying their consultants and other experts that they have to work with, their civil engineers and folks of they have to branch out to and will have to pay their own fees to. But the company is not asking for anything up front until the district's receive confirmation of funding from OPSC.
And this is for doing all the plans,
Yes,
all the dirt work. No.
no,
Just,
the
the
plans, the drawings, getting things ready for CDE and eventually DSA approval. So the plans that were board approved at the special meeting, so the design and the outlook of what the scope of the project will be.
Okay. Anybody have any questions?
Yes. I thought we approved, or you guys approved $200,000 to get it going, and that was gonna carry us all the way until we get the final approval. So now we're throwing another.
No.
No.
Not any extra.
No.
Just $200,000.
This is-
$200,000 of their entitled amount goes to them right now. When they get their plans all approved.
Okay.
And then when the project is completed and we have all the funding, then they get the rest of the money.
Then they're gonna get this, what they're asking for now, 600 and some thousand. After all the paperwork goes in and it gets approved.
Yeah.
And we have money in.
Yeah.
Just want to make sure.
Anybody want to make a motion? More? And Hepburn?
Second.
All in favor? Aye. 5 ayes. Approve the agreement with Earth Systems Pacific to provide geological and geotechnical hazardous report for Tropical Middle School. Basically doing all the groundwork for utilities, where they're at, field excavation, the soil. Okay, Mr. Irving, maybe you know better than I do.
All right, so Earth Systems, as part of DSA approval, we'll have to, make sure that soil samples and ground testing is done to make sure that, if we were to put a building somewhere, a sinkhole doesn't open up underneath it and, take our building with it. Make sure that, everything's suitable for the type of building that we want to be on it, and that there's no like you were saying, underground utility, anything in the way that would prevent that. And Earth Systems is, we're currently using them for the kindergarten project. I believe they worked on the Rosemont Elementary project, so they know the district and its sites. And this is, given the size of the buildings, it's going to be mandatory that we do this for DSA approval. So there's not really any question of if we're moving forward, it has to be done. So it's not we'd like to do it, we'll throw in this extra option. one of those gotta do's.
Again, Robert, I understand this, it needs to be done.
Mhm.
But I thought at the meeting, they stood here and told us that they only need $200,000.
This is a different company.
Yeah, this is a different company, but for the same project.
Right.
So now we're spending another $20,000. And we're still not sure if we're gonna make it. We're pretty sure. But why didn't he come up front and tell us it's gonna cost us $220,000 to complete this project, to get all the paperwork through?
Well,
I feel like they did mention that they would have to do
They
some
would have
testing
to
to
have-
make sure
yeah.
there's not this there, not that there. And
I know they have to do that,
Right.
but the cost to me was $200,000.
that was for the architects.
Yeah, I didn't feel that it was that way. It was just architects, like you said, Mario.
And usually when they go to school to.
Well, I took it.
I
as
understand it has to be
200,000
done. I
because
know that,
everything
that's
we
for
needed
sure.
For the deadline.
What's that?
I said I took it as we would spend $200,000 to get us anything and everything we needed to reach the deadline on.
That's
time.
what I thought too.
For the architects,
For
yes.
the architects.
Yeah, how much more
This
stuff
is-
are we talking about?
Architects need
Down
this.
the line?
No, we don't,
This has to,
not now. In order to do the construction, we need to have that.
I
Well, we
understand
can't
it
go
has
any
to be
further
done.
without this.
That's true.
So, hello,
It has to be done.
$200,000 to reach deadline, now we're asking for
It has
that
to
money.
be done. But I just thought it was included at 200,000. I must have misunderstood. That's why I voted no on it.
I'll make a motion that we accept.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Um,
Five ayes?
Yeah.
Approve the following list of personnel items. Does anybody have any questions on that?
I wish I'd seen more hiring on there.
I agree with you. I move that we accept.
Who made the motion? Vincelet, and seconded by Hepburn. All in favor?
Aye.
Five ayes. Approve resolution for teaching outside of credential in appropriate with Education Code 44263, teacher Vogenthaler.
And so this is, as her, so this is, a sixth grade teacher, and she teaches, just math and science, I believe, math and science. So for her, oh, social studies.
Art.
So, but the resolution is for the art elective that she teaches. So she has numerous classes towards art, but not quite a supplemental, so, this allows her to teach that art period.
Okay, I'll make a motion.
Second Moore, seconded by
Bob.
Mr. Lamb. All in favor?
Aye.
Need a motion to adjourn?
I'll motion.
Second.
Second by Hepburn. All in favor? Aye. Seven.
So I apologize, board, I forgot to mention one thing, the meeting's closed. Projections